5 years ago today, we lost a wonderful friend, Eric Medlen. He was a great teammate, an amazing race car driver, but most of all, he was an entertainer. When I think back to my memories with him, he always had a smile on his face, and he was always making people laugh, whether he was up on stage in Winter Circle singing Johnny Be Good, or performing in one of our latest Christmas movies for the company. He did whatever it takes to get the laugh, and he did it with a smile on his face.
One of my favorite memories of Eric is back when I was either 14 or 15, I was pretty young, and we were all up in Indy, out at his house, barbecuing. And I remember we jumped in the car and Eric and I rode to the grocery store to go get food for everybody to cook. And I remember just the drive out, we were listening to music on the radio, we had all the windows down, and he was talking to me about getting my permit and my license. And I remember when we got to the grocery store, we ordered a bunch of potato salad, macaroni and cheese, and the lady asked how much we wanted, and he looked at me and I told him I didn't have a clue. And he's like, I'm really bad at measurements. And he said, okay, we'll take like 8 pounds. And the lady pulled out all the jars. She's like, how about I pull out the jars and I'll let you pick this way? And I remember that night we barbecued and we had such a good time, and it's just a memory I'll never forget.
We had this inside joke. Every time he would get ready to go up and race in the funny car, he'd be strapped in. I'd go in and wish him good luck, and he'd always, every time would go like that. And I loved having that moment with him at every event. It was just really cool.
We make a Christmas movie once a year for our company, and we seem to always be able to rope Eric into being some character. One year he was Barbara Walters interviewing my dad. Another year he played Elvis Presley. He even dressed up as Dad's Mini-Me when we did a spoof on the Austin Powers movie. I look at this video footage and it cracks me up, and I love looking back at some of this stuff because it really shows the goofball that Eric was. He was a serious, competitive driver on the track, but he was also a fun, loving, spirited guy off the track.
One thing everyone will agree with me on about Eric is he never had a bad day. He was always smiling, he was always in high spirits, and I think that's something we'll never forget about him.
Back in the summer of 2006, we were filming our A&E reality show Driving Force, and we took a trip up to Oakdale, California, Eric's hometown. And that is one of the most precious memories I have. We spent a couple days with him, roping, riding horses, spending time with his family and his friends, and really getting to see another side of Eric away from the racetrack. During those couple days up in Oakdale, I have a great memory of him when he was trying to teach us how to rope cattle. He was on his horse just flying across the field and showing us, and we got the great idea that he should rope my dad. So Dad in his cowboy boots is out there running across the dirt, and Eric's coming behind him full speed on his horse, and we just couldn't even believe what we were watching. And of course there was just a big bundle of dirt flying up in the air as Eric got Dad. I mean, we couldn't stop laughing. I had tears rolling down my face.
Eric Medlen and I had a lot of good times together. You know, we kind of basically came up the same way. We worked on the cars together. We worked on John's car and won championships, and he got to be a driver, and then a year later I became a driver. Eric and I were traveling together down the road, I think coming from Gainesville, Florida. So I was driving, and I must have been delirious or real tired because Eric got me to sing, and you know, we're going down the road and he's playing his guitar and I'm singing, and you know, I'm glad there wasn't a video camera around that night. But guaranteed only one guy could have got me to do that, and that was Eric Medlen, and we miss him a lot.
I always love to talk about Eric Medlen. What a unique individual. Best cook. I'm not going to say the best cook, because I don't want to make my wife mad, or I don't want to make grandma mad, but he was one of the best cooks. The only other thing that he loved next to his family, compared to cooking, is he loved driving his hot rod. The Castrol Syntec Ford he drove. And drove it he did. But a guy that loved the fans. And boy, could he drive a race car. But I think what he loved most was the little kids. I know that in the early days, being around Ashley, even when she was younger, you know, younger than him, and then Brittany and naturally Courtney, he just loved being around them and teaching them about the race car. I think that's why they're so excited about it to this day. And if you ever get a chance, stop by John Force Racing in Yorba Linda, look in the museum. The history on Eric Medlen, and stop into Brownsburg, Indiana. at the Eric Medlen Project and see the museum there and all the stuff from rodeo to racing with his family. He filmed in the TV show, Driving Force. Him and I did stuff that was unbelievable. I hope they never show the outtakes of some of the stuff him and I used to conjure up and have fun with, because we did have a lot of fun. And the loss of Eric, that it had a reason, that the good Lord had a reason why he took Eric when he did. And through his father and the Eric Medlen Project, we made something great. And I believe that, I say to this day, prayer every night, every morning to Eric Medlen, thank you for saving my life. I live by him because he's up there in heaven watching us every day. And I believe that with all my heart. So God bless you, Eric. I love you. He knows it. Your family loves you. And your fans, they love you. And I know you were riding with Courtney at Gainesville in that fuel funny car, because he rides with all of us. Eric Medlen has a bigger cause, and he's doing it every day.
Here at John Force Racing, we carry the number 4 logo in honor of Eric on all of our race cars, and his memory lives on through the Eric Medlen Project. We miss Eric dearly, we cherish the memories that we have with him, and we know that he's looking down on all of us every day.